Welcome to the Bajoran Wormhole. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. If you're returning, thanks for the support. In tonight's video, we're going to be discussing the Eugenics Wars. The Eugenics Wars was a series of conflicts fought on Earth between 1992 and 1996 and during the 21st century, aka as the Eugenic War, Second Civil War, and World War III. The result of a scientific attempt to improve the human race through selective breeding and genetic engineering. The wars devastated parts of the Earth, by some estimates officially causing some 30 million deaths, and nearly plunging the planet into a new dark age. Records from this period are fragmented, but what is known is that the war's roots lie in a group of human scientists' ambitious attempt to improve the race through selective breeding and genetic engineering. They created a race of supermen, popularly known as the Augments, who were mentally and physically superior to ordinary men and women. They were 5 times stronger than the average person, their lung efficiency was 50% better than normal, and their intelligence was double that of normal humans. They also had enhanced senses, including an ability to hear beyond that of human capabilities. The Augments were created by the scientists in the 1950s Cold War era in the hopes that they would lead humanity into an era of peace in a world that had only known war. One aspect these scientists overlooked was the personality of the Augments. Along with their superior abilities, the Augments were aggressive and arrogant, flaws which the scientists were unable to correct at the time due to the infancy of the science. One of the Augments' creators realized the error, writing that superior ability breeds superior ambition. That same scientist was ultimately killed by one of his own creations. Another scientist also realized that in their own ambition and attention to science, they have ignored a facet of the Christian religion, that the human heart is inclined towards evil, and no scientific method could correct that. The Augments rose to power and held dominance over a large portion of humanity, beginning in the early 1990s. Among the most notorious of these superhuman conquerors was Khan Noonien Singh, who in 1992 became the absolute ruler of more than a quarter of the planet, from Asia through the Middle East. The following year, a group of fellow supermen followed in Khan's footsteps and simultaneously seized power in over 40 nations. The people of these conquered nations, in most cases, were treated as little more than slaves by the Augments. Khan considered himself a prince with power over millions. It was unknown how he viewed or treated those under his rule, although they had very little freedom. Unlike the other Augment depots, however, Khan's reign had enjoyed peace. The people were not massacred, and Khan avoided war until his region was attacked. Khan considered himself a benign dictator, or one who led by a form of gentle authoritarianism. As such, he was among the most admired of the so-called tyrants into the 23rd century, being called the best of the tyrants by James T. Kirk. Reports as to exactly how the wars began vary. Some claim that humanity rose up against Khan and his fellow supermen, while others believe the Augments began to fight among themselves. Regardless of their origin, 2 factors were certain. The Eugenics Wars had a devastating impact on Earth, as entire populations were bombed out of existence, and that humanity had ultimately deposed the Augments. The Augments were eventually defeated by humans who were not genetically enhanced. Khan was the last of the tyrants to be overthrown in 1996. Khan and over 80 of the supermen were condemned to die as war criminals. They, however, went unaccounted for, a fact the governments of the time did not disclose to the public in order to prevent panic. Rumors were later confirmed in the 23rd century that Khan and 84 of his followers had managed to flee the planet aboard an early sleeper ship, the SS Botany Bay. The official number of casualties from the wars was placed at 30 million, although some historians believed it to be closer to 35 million, with another figure established as being 37 million. Although the wars may have ended, humanity's fear of genetically engineered beings remained well into the 24th century. Following the wars, controversial debates ensued between Earth's governments regarding the fate of the thousands of Augment embryos. Uncertain of how to handle the issue, the governments opted to have the embryos placed in cold storage. This fact was also kept from public knowledge. The issue of genetic manipulation and human genome enhancement continued to plague Earth well into the 21st century. In 2024, Dr. Adam Soong began examining an old file from 1996 which was called Project Con. This was no doubt a project mastermind by scientists who had intention of making augments similar to Khan, who disappeared in 1996. Presumably, Adam Soong went forward with that project sometime after 2024. This would have been around the time of the Second Civil War, which eventually became another eugenics war that in time escalated into what was known as the Third World War. As both conflicts were fought over the issues of genetic manipulation, this suggests the eugenics war were regarded as the initial cause and prelude for the Third World War, much like how the Second World War is often seen as a result of the first. Genetic engineering of humans was ultimately banned on Earth. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.